Okay, you're ready to go.
Thank you. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, September 21st, 2022, and the Streets, Traffic, and Refuse Committee meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Present.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Present.
Alderwoman Peel.
Here.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Chairwoman Tyus is present.
Thank you.
All right, we have a quorum, and so we can begin the meeting. The first thing we're going to do is approve the minutes of Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel.
Aye.
Chairwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Let's do approval of the minutes.
It'd be 5 votes,
Got 5. Yes.
5 affirmative votes.
Yes.
Okay, by your vote, you've approved the minutes of June 22nd, 2022. As I said, we got a lot of things going on. Alderman, usually I do the alderman on the committee last, but we're going to do Alderman Vaccaro first. He has an ordinance that we have to work through. And then Alderwoman Carol Howard has several bills that we're going to try to do at once. So Alderman Vaccaro, we're going to go to board bill number 82. And I would ask you to present your bill to the committee. You recognize to present board bill 82 to the committee. And also I would ask the clerk if she would read the introduction. Do you have it there before you?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Board Bill number 82, introduced by Alderman Joseph Vaccaro, an ordinance directing the director of the City of St. Louis Street Department to install and implement an emergency vehicle traffic signal preemption system.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Vaccaro. You're muted.
You like I was using my hands on the tail. Myself.
Okay, you're recognized to present board bill 82 to the committee, please.
Okay. So what it is, they do it in St. Charles, St. Louis counties, looking at the same thing. It's done over the cloud, which I have no idea how that works. But what it does, we've had 5 people killed this year in either police chases or, well, these happen to be in police chases. But what this does is, and we've had ambulances that have been hit, and so what this does, it simply turns all the lights green in the direction that a police car or a fire truck are going, if they have their lights and siren on. It turns all the traffic coming at that intersection red. And if any of us, which I have, you've sit in a red light and the ambulance is behind you and you don't know, do I go through the red light? What do I do? This also clears the, it turns like green so you can get over to the side so the ambulance can get there quicker. It saves lives, not only of the people that have been hit, but it saves lives. If you're waiting for an ambulance to get to your house after a heart attack like I had, you want that ambulance not stuck in traffic. So I think it's a very important board bill, and I'd like to see us move this along. And it's just that simple. It's not real complicated. The complicated might be how they do it, but smarter people than me should be able to put this together.
Alderman, I thought we did this. Didn't we do this at the end of last term, or did we do something similar to this?
No, we did. What we did was a resolution to look into this. And so we passed the resolution. In fact, it went, I got 100% of the alders voted for it.
Right,
So
okay, so
now-
now this is the
now-
actual ordinance, right?
This is an actual ordinance to ask the street department to start, to put this program in place so that we can make streets safer for all of us.
Okay, and I have a question before I start asking the committee. So, do we know how much something like this will cost?
Well, roughly, I can only tell you in St. Charles, it was roughly around $12 million.
$12 million?
Yeah, and I'm hoping that, we don't have anybody to help us with fiscal stuff at the minute at the Board of Aldermen. But I would say it's going to be roughly in that, they're a bigger area, but I would say roughly it's in about a $10 million investment.
Okay, so, do we have any idea where we're gonna get those funds? Are we looking to the ARPA funds or what?
Well, that's what I'm hoping. So right now, the way I did it, I just said the street department, they have like all kinds of people not working anyway. I think there's money, but what I'm actually hoping is as we start to move this along, that Paul Payne or someone could come in and help us get through that part. But yes, that's what I'd like to see. I think we have the funding available and I think it can be through the ARPA money. I gotta put these, I apologize, my eyes are dilated. I either have to put these, I got a choice of, and this is what the eye doctor gave me, and I think they would look kind of silly, but they work.
Okay, so I guess my
I
question
apologize
is,
for the silly glasses.
the alderman told me about his glasses, but I believe he just wants to look like Elvis Presley in a
Yeah,
new kind of way. But Alderman, so if we direct them to do this, to implement this emergency traffic vehicle without any kind of funds, how would that work? How do you see that working?
well, what I was hoping was that, well, actually, I'm looking for a little help here. So what I'm hoping is, as we start to move this through that, and again, we can even have Paul Payne in possibly at the next meeting, but I would like to see, I think it would fall under the ARPA money and I would love to see it, I would love to see it actually come from that. So, I mean, we can put that in here saying using the ARPA money, or, I was kind of hoping, looking also for, excuse me, actually looking for your help on this too,
Okay.
because I know
and
you're
I
good
will-
at this stuff, so.
I will help. I don't think we should direct, this is just for me. I don't think we should direct them to, and the committee may think different, to implement something without we designate some kind of fund, okay? So if you don't mind, I would really like to work with you on this and try to write up a bill that puts some funds so that we're not directing somebody to do something and from the street
Oh, no.
department. And then they use our 50-50 sidewalk money or public works
Right.
money that we haven't seen in a long time. So I would like to see the funds allocated.
No, that would be wonderful. If you can help me with an amendment to use the ARPA funds, I would appreciate it. That's sort of why, and again, we used to have somebody that I could have went to and said, okay, but we don't.
Right, he's out in the county now, happily.
Well, actually, he's moved on. Oh, he's not even there anymore.
Oh, really?
I saw him at an event and now I forget what he's over, but he's moved on from the county to something else. That's what you get when you get somebody from Harvard.
He's in Green Street.
Yeah,
Okay.
Queen Street, that's where he's at. I knew he was moving on. He's a very smart guy, but I miss him. Yeah, if we can, and again, I apologize about the goofy looking glasses. This is what.
Oh, no, you look very cool. But we're gonna hold this and then you and I will work on it this week, okay, together, if that's all
Okay.
right?
No, that's wonderful.
Okay,
That's
and
wonderful. And
but I
if
want
we
to go
can-
through and give the committee a chance if they do have questions. It's Alderwoman Boyd, do you have any questions?
I just, I'm trying to visualize what he's saying. So say the ambulance is going down Grand and the sirens are on. So as they go down Grand, the light will change red for them.
No. What'll happen?
I mean, change green for them.
yes, ma'am. So all the
Okay.
lights going in the direction they're going will turn green,
Okay,
and the cross traffic will turn red.
okay,
And this year we've had 5 people die in well, it happened to be police chases, but and we've also had it that we had to pay for a new ambulance, and we were able to use ARPA money for that. It's extremely dangerous. And again, I'm sure you've experienced, if you're sitting at a red light and the ambulance is behind you and it's beeping its horn, and you're like, oh my God, do I go through the red light? What do I do? How do I handle it? This will also let the light, you'll be green for you too, so you can get out of the way of the ambulance and not worry about getting your car hit in the middle of the intersection. So
okay.
it's a real important thing we do, and we have the money right now. It's just finding.
Okay, I just wanted clarity and visualize how that works. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, God bless. Thank you.
Alderwoman Schweitzer, do you have any questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Chairwoman Tyus. I'm glad that you're going to hold this and we're going to look at different getting streets, public safety, all their input and for the budget and how this will be put into place. So I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to asking questions then.
Okay, thank you. And Alderwoman, oh my God, Peel. Now see, I done forgot how to say your name. I've been sick so long. And I started to say sweet tea. Alderwoman Peel.
Great, thank you,
All right.
Chairwoman Tyus. And I also do not have any questions. I think that you're holding it at this point in time, and we'll get more details in the future.
Okay. All right, thank you. I don't have any questions. I don't see Alderman Bosley on here at this point. So the next thing we're going to do.
I am here, but I don't have any questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't
That's
see your
okay.
name.
It's there.
Oh my God, I love that gray. Makes me feel young.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, wow. All right, you've been busy this summer.
Yes, ma'am. A million things going on. Trying to juggle them all.
All right. Okay. So Alderwoman Howard, you got 3 bills. So we're going to try to get you done. And then Clark Hubbard, we're going to go back to you. Alderwoman Howard, your first board bill is 78. Madam Clerk, would you read the introduction to Board Bill 78?
Board Bill number 78, introduced by Alderwoman Carol Howard, an ordinance establishing a 2-way stop site at the intersection of Macklin Avenue and Neosho Street. Regulating all traffic traveling northbound and southbound on Macklin at the intersection of Macklin Avenue and Neosho Street and containing an emergency clause.
Alderwoman Howard, you are recognized to present Board Bill 78 before the committee.
Yes, Madam Chair and esteemed colleagues, Board Bill 78 is just what it says. It's going to establish stop signs in both northbound and southbound traffic on Macklin Avenue at the intersection of Neosho. This has been a problematic intersection because the congestion of traffic and cars parking up to the curb. We've had the little markers installed there. We've done a number of things, and there's been some horrible wrecks occurred there. So I am going to go ahead and place the stop signs. I don't know if there'll be any enforcement, but hopefully people will stop, and it'll provide safety for the constituents in the area.
All right, thank you. Instead of going through with everyone, since it's just a simple stop sign, if there's anyone on the committee that has a question, please raise your hand.
Well, I actually not a question.
I was trying to get past him. I'm sorry, Carol. You're being harassed by the Alderman from the 23rd. I'm sorry, Alderwoman Howard. He's going to harass you. Yes, Alderman Vaccaro.
No, I'm just saying, if I'm the king of stop signs, is she trying to become the queen of stop signs? I don't know. I just, I'm
well,
just
in 13 years, I think this is number 3. So,
oh, well, you're falling way behind.
yeah, I know. I ride through your ward, and I'm saying no.
We want to be the king of stop signs and speed
You
humps.
are the king of stop signs. I can attest to that.
No questions. I was just picking.
That's okay.
Okay. Is there anyone off the committee? I'm sorry, that's off the committee, that's an alderperson that has a question. If you raise your hand, I'll acknowledge you. Okay, seeing none. Alderwoman, you recognize to close on your board bill 78?
I would like the favorable consideration of the committee, and I close with that, and I would appreciate any vote you have for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'd entertain a motion to pass Board Bill 78 out with the do pass recommendation.
I move we pass Board Bill 78 out with a do pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous roll.
We have a motion, a second, a call for previous roll. Is there objection to previous roll?
Question, is it Board Bill 78 or 84?
I
Board
thought
Bill
this was,
78.
did
Board
you do
Bill
78?
Yes, ma'am. Board Bill 78.
Okay, just making sure I knew what we were voting on. Thank you.
Right. I hear no objection. Board Bill 78 is passed out with a do pass recommendation. Alderwoman Peel, I did see your chat, so we'll put yours down to the end so to give you the most time, okay? All right. The next one is Board Bill 84 by Alderwoman Carol Howard, introduced. And would you read the introduction to Board Bill 84, Madam Clerk?
Board Bill number 84, introduced by Alderwoman Carol Howard, an ordinance establishing a two-way stop site at the intersection of Neshoto Street and Newport Avenue, regulating all traffic traveling eastbound and westbound on Neosho Street at the intersection of Neosho and Newport Avenue and containing an emergency clause.
Thank you. Alderwoman Howard, you recognize to present Board Bill 84 before the committee.
This again is a stop sign that has to being placed for a very treacherous intersection where people zoom through and don't even look both ways or hit the brakes. So hopefully this will provide a little more safety for people traveling area.
Okay. And anyone except for the alderman from the 23rd have any questions? Okay, anyone off the committee except for the alderman from the 23rd have any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill 84 be passed out with a do pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
We have a motion, a second. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 84 is passed out with a do pass recommendation. Okay, the next board bill is 85, introduced by Alderwoman Carol Howard. And Madam Clerk, would you please read the introduction?
Board Bill number 85, introduced by Alderwoman Carol Howard, pursuant to ordinance number 70333, as amended by ordinance number 71394. An ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the 4900 block of Neosho Street, 4300 block of Wilcox Avenue, 4400 block to 4600 block of Wilcox Avenue, 4900 block to 4100 block of Alfred Avenue, 4100 block of Neosho Street between the intersections of Neosho Street and Newport Avenue, and Neosho Street and Ray Avenue, 4150 block of Neosho Street between the intersections of Neosho Street and Atkins Avenue and Neosho Street and Verrilman Avenue, the 5030 block of Murdoch Avenue, and the 5020 block of Murdoch Avenue.
Thank you. Alderwoman Howard, you are recognized to present Board Bill 85 before the committee.
Madam Chair, these are speed humps that I have I will be putting in place per the recommendation of the residents on these blocks. I've surveyed each block and they've come back and the majority of people have voted in favor of these. So hopefully these are entered into the city works program. Hopefully they will be placed before snowfall, but we can only hope. And I have a question for you, and I'm not sure, and this may be out of order. If I am, please tell me, Madam Chair. After these are placed in, is there any input from streets after this is done, or is it just you do it, you put them in and they get done and we pass the ordinance?
Once you pass the ordinance, then they work on putting them in. And I'm the queen of speed humps, and I want to just tell you, they're almost on all my residential streets in all my neighborhoods, and they love them. This is the first time in 30 years I have not had anybody get hit by a car hit another car, knock it up into the front steps or whatever. So I actually love them because my community loves them. And I went through a process, but once they put them in, then the only problem you might have is if they go to put one in and they didn't notice that there was a sewer inlet or something like that, they might have to move it. And they usually, well, for me, my person that's assigned to BPS will call me and say, hey, we need to move this just a little bit because XYZ. I actually am so involved. I actually drive the streets and tell them where I want them so that they can be spaced out.
Right.
Because sometimes, I'm not saying everybody, but sometimes people who are installing them just don't put them spread out so that they're evenly spread out. So I turn in a list and saying, can you put them as near to this address as possible? But you don't have to do that.
But yeah, I like them placed in front of fire hydrants. I think that's ideal because that way it keeps the fire hydrant clear and, you know, it's a double purpose. So I'll
tell you another thing. When they first come on the street, I put one soon as you come around the corner, like if you turn off a Euclid onto one of my streets, like 4900 block of Northland has them, soon as you come around that corner, there's a speed hump close to that. So you know immediately there are speed humps on this street. And I do it at the other end near the stop sign so that they know to stop and not run out into the middle of the streets. Okay, so that's just a little hint, and it really does work because by the time they hit a couple of those speed humps, then they're like, okay, I get this, slow down.
sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but
I know. Well, I only get that from the young people who call me and say, oh, the woman, you're tearing our cars up. And I said, what have I done, sweetie? And they like, well, it's dragging my muffler. And I said, oh, I got a fix for that. Slow your roll. Okay, that's all you got to do, slow down. So I've been really happy with
that was the only question. And I would ask for the committee's favorable consideration and majority vote of passing it on to full committee. Thank you.
All right, and I'll ask we haven't closed yet. Is there anyone on the committee that has a question of the alderman from the 14th?
I have a question of the alderwoman from the 14th, Madam Chair. I don't know if this is appropriate because I'm like Alderwoman Howard. Once the bill is passed, how long does it take? Because it seems like now mine was back in April and they still haven't put the things in. And then they come back and say, so now you need to put in city work. So it's always an added step. So I'm just curious.
Again, so I'll say, depending on how many, so what we can do is get Rich Bradley before us to find out how many he has, because they package them out, okay? Like, to tell you truthfully, it took me about a year to get mine after we put them in, okay? Because the people were putting them in, and before we passed this ordinance, there was a game being played where only favorable people got theirs and the rest of us was told no. That's why I pushed forward so much for this ordinance, because I just thought it was very unfair. Like some of us was told you can't put it on a secondary street. And then lo and behold, there they were on secondary streets. We had some people who told the mayor to veto my bill. And she is such a hypocrite because guess what? She has speed humps all over there. So, you know, all of these games that was being played, but literally because there were so many, it was taken up to a year. It really depends on how many people are going to ask for them and what kind of package. So we can bring BPS Rich out next week and have him tell us about what that looks like and what kind of time frame we're looking at. They were supposed to do mine 1 November and they didn't get to them, and they promised me that they would get to them as soon as the snow was gone. So they did get them that March. So they were just a little bit behind. So we can kind of get a time. We'll ask him to come to the next meeting and get a time frame. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
And along with that, I will say that the former alderwoman from the 13th and myself had asked for them on Delore, and we were told they couldn't be placed. But lo and behold, there was a terrible accident and the news media got involved. Within 2 weeks, there were 3 speed humps placed on Delore Avenue. So
exactly. So, and that's why aldermen with automatic privilege and courtesy usually know more about their wards than some stranger from someplace else. No matter what the press says, That's why you have aldermen elected from different wards, because I cannot know the 14th ward the way Alderwoman Howard does. I can, sometimes maybe I know some things. I lived in the 8th ward for a lot of years, so I kind of know that, but even that has changed since the years I've lived there. So although the press likes to say, oh, that's a horrible thing, automatic courtesy, it is not. No one can know it better than you, so.
Thank you.
Alderwoman from the 4th.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I have a constituent that have made a request for speed humps on Taylor Avenue. And I know at one time it was prohibited, but now I'm trying to see if it's still prohibited. Taylor Avenue running from what is that? Ashland, running from Ashland to St. Louis Avenue on Taylor. Is that still prohibited?
What's usually prohibited is snow routes, major thoroughfares, secondary streets, and that's what's like Marcus or something like that, and Taylor and Newstead. But as I said, I was told that, and then of course, as the chair, I got the list of everybody who got speed humps, doing my usual due diligence. So I was shocked to find out not only the hypocrites who said they were opposed to speed humps, but also how certain people got favorable treatment. So that is something we can sit down with Director of Streets, and Jamie Wilson was the Director of Streets, and I think he's still handling maybe that program, and talk about it if that's something that can be done, because there were exceptions made for all kind of people. And I don't know, Taylor runs all the way through. Taylor goes from the Central West End all the way through, so they may not let you do that one. But we can sit down and talk about it. I'll sit with you and try to help advocate.
Okay, because I guess from Natural Bridge to St. Louis Avenue on Taylor is, I think, what's asked for.
Okay, well, we can talk, but a lot of times secondary streets, they won't. I have a secondary street that they're going to allow, but only because it runs out and it's right by a park, and that's Euclid. And it's no traffic, so it's not cutting all the way through. It's just between a few little streets. But we can sit down and have a meeting, okay?
Okay, appreciate that.
Okay, if you don't have any further questions, I'd like you to lower your hand. Is there anyone else that has any questions on the committee or off? Seeing none, Alderwoman Howard, you are recognized to close.
I would like the committee's favorable consideration and a due pass recommendation for the Board Bill 85.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion that Board Bill 85 be passed out with a due pass recommendation.
I move that we pass Board Bill 85 out with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous roll.
We have a motion, a second, a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 85 is passed out with a due pass recommendation. Okay, we're going to go back. Good morning, Alderwoman Shameen Clark Hubbard. How are you today?
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman. How you doing?
I'm okay. We're getting these speed humps rolling. Okay, you have Board Bill 54, which is also an ordinance about speed humps. Madam Clerk, could you please read the introduction to Board Bill 54?
Board Bill number 54, introduced by Alderwoman Shameen Clark Hubbard, pursuant to ordinance number 70333, as amended by ordinance number 71394, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the 5200 block of Vernon Avenue between the intersections of Vernon Avenue and Union Boulevard and Vernon Avenue and Clarendon Avenue.
Oh, and I'm so sorry. Alderwoman Howard, did you have any speakers? I missed that. I got to get out of my fog.
No, I'm the only one speaking.
Okay, I'm sorry, because I forgot to do the speakers because my stuff is so messed up.
Since I took a poll of the residents on those blocks, so I didn't think it was necessary. So.
Okay, and I remembered it because Alderwoman Shameen Clark Hubbard usually comes with her gang. Do you have any speakers today?
No, not this morning. I'm still on their behalf, but I did have an amendment that was presented. It's in the Google.
Okay, yes, let me get it. My printer was acting up. It's acting, just a minute. Let me print that out, okay, so I can look at that. Hold on just a second. Okay, now I'm printing this amendment out. So sorry, just a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Alderwoman Hubbard, Clark Hubbard, you are recognized to present Board Bill 54 to the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, members of the committee. Board Bill 54 as amended is as.
We're gonna amend it in just a minute.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So the original Board Bill 54 is the speed hump bill to slow the traffic in the 5200 of Vernon. And I'm asking for your favorable consideration and do pass recommendation.
Okay, and then you, that's before us right now. So I haven't done this in a minute. I think, do we have to vote, Madam Clerk? Do you remember? Do we have to vote to put 54 before us and then do to amendment, or can we go directly to the amendment? I can't remember right now. Do you know? Do you remember?
I'm sorry, it has to. Hold on. It has to go before.
You have to, do we have to vote to put 54 before us before we then put the amendment to it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay, so I'd like a motion to put Board Bill 54 us before the committee.
I move to put Board Bill 54 in front of the committee.
Second, in previous role.
We have a motion and a second for previous, and a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 54 is before the Streets Committee. we now have an amendment to it. I'd entertain a motion that we put the amendment to Board Bill 54 before the committee. But first, before we do that, I'd like for the Alderwoman from the 26th Ward to explain to us the amendment.
Thank you. The amendment is just to add an additional block, the 5300 block of Ridge for speed humps as well.
Okay. So you just added one street?
Yes.
I see a second amendment. Oh, that's to 81. Okay. Okay, so that's for Jesse Todd. They're on the same, Alderman Todd, I'm sorry. All right, so I'd entertain a motion. First, anybody have any questions about the amendment? Anybody on the committee have any questions about the amendment? Anybody not on the committee have any questions about the amendment? Hearing none, Alderwoman from the 26th, you can close on Board Bill 54 as amended. I want to make sure I'm doing this right because my brain is functioning.
Point of order.
Yes, I think we have to adopt the amendment first. Yes, is that it, Alderman Bosley?
I don't think we had the actual amendment before us. I think it was just the.
Oh,
board
we
bill
didn't. That's
before
right.
us.
So we have to put we have to vote to put the amendment to amend Board Bill 54 because we have 54 before us. So we have to vote to amend Board Bill 54 to include the amendment. So
Right,
you're
and
trying to
then we
say,
did-
hello?
I think, yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I think, don't we vote on the I mean, we finished discussing the board bill, then put as amended in front of us, and then we vote on the board bill as amended.
We voted already on the board bill before us. We talked about the amendment. We didn't put that, but this is just amendment to vote. So this first one will be not to close, but to amend Board Bill 54 to amendment number 1. That's what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you, because I'm in a fog, I'll tell you that. So, okay.
We all have.
That's why I have a vice chair and all the other people on the streets committee, because I make mistakes too. But I'm pretty easy to say I'm doing it. Okay. So I'd entertain a motion that we amend Board Bill 54 to include amendment number 1.
So
I
moved.
move that we amend Board Bill
54.
and add amendment number 1,
54.
Board Bill 54.
Second. Hello?
Previous row.
No,
I'll
we need a
second
second.
I'll second
Second.
Okay. Okay. So the motion is that we amend Board Bill 54 to include amendment number 1. And there's been a second and a call for previous roll. Any objections to a previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 54 is amended to include amendment number 1. And now I'd entertain a motion that we pass out with a do pass recommendation, Board Bill 54 as amended.
Move that we pass Board Bill 54 out as amended with a do pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous row.
Row.
We have a motion and a second that Board Bill 54 as amended is passed out with a do pass recommendation. We have a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 54 is passed out with a do pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderwoman Clark. This is the first time she ever came before us without her whole crew. I
Yeah.
don't even know how to act.
I'm
about
standing in the gap. Plus, I saw that agenda. So I was like, let me just hold it down for them today so you all can get through. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a
All
blessed
right, have a good day. Okay, the next person is Alderwoman Ingracia, Board Bill 60.
Board Bill number 60, introduced by Alderwoman Christina Ingracia, an ordinance authorizing an honorary street name of Benjamin Polson Place pursuant to ordinance number 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Shawmut Place and Ridge Avenue and run north on Shawmut Place to the intersection of Shawmut Place and Wells Avenue.
Okay, Alderwoman Ingracia, I'm sorry, I could not, the clerk sent us an updated speaker list, but I never could get that to print out. Do you have speakers?
There are, I don't believe anybody is still on that was signed up to speak, but there is some written testimony that is
I
provided.
do have the one written testimony that I think the clerk puts in there. I printed that out. I usually have this stuff all printed out and ready, but my printer was acting up. I got something from Daniel. And
Yes, he was on earlier, but he's no longer here. I
Okay.
don't believe Larry Connolly is here any longer, or Galen Taylor. Oh,
Okay.
somebody's
I
waving.
have Devontae Sanders.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so you still have Devontae Sanders? Okay, you recognize to present your board bill, then we'll swear Devontae in and let him testify also, okay?
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So Board Bill 60 is authorizing an honorary street name for fallen fighter Benjamin Polson. It will be in front of his firehouse, Station 13 on Shawmut Place. And very honored that the firefighters reached out to me on this. It was obviously a devastating and tragic loss of a 33-year-old in the line of duty. And I won't take up any more time. I would like for the committee to be able to hear from one of his colleagues, Devontae Saunders.
Mr. Saunders, I need to be able to see your face. I have to have visual contact.
I'm sure exactly how to turn my camera on.
You were on because I saw you.
No, that's
Anybody hear Larry Connolly?
yeah, that's my chief. He's under my name for some reason. I was
Is he like violating your rights and trying to fraudulently be you? Is that what's going on?
Um,
No, I'm joking.
Can anybody hear Larry Connolly?
yes, I can hear you, chief.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was trying to work my phone. I couldn't chime in because they said I wasn't still on. I've been on for about an hour.
I don't see either one of you, so I need to see your faces.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Let me get the camera.
Now, I don't know if this is the real Devontae or is this, guess who I am? Is this, I've seen a picture, now he left. Okay, okay.
Well, and then rejoin. Can you give me a second so I could do that?
Sure, you got time. Okay, now I'm seeing Devontae is at Larry Con.
Yes, that's Chief Conley.
Okay, if you guys need to reboot, we'll give you a second, okay? A couple of minutes. I see a Larry Connolly now with a hat on. Is that Larry Connolly? Okay. We have to swear you in. Okay. Okay, and Alderwoman Shameen Clark Hubbard has asked to be added to the your board bill, Alderwoman, from the 6th.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All righty, so, and this is Devontae. Okay, gentlemen,
Yes.
we have to swear you in, so your testimony is the truth. I don't really like doing this on things like this, but we got a rule passed. Okay, all right, if you both would raise your right hand, and you can say affirm or swear depending on what you do, and then say your name. I,
Devontae Saunders.
I can't hear you, Mr. Connors. You gotta unmute. Unmute, Mr. Conley. Okay.
Larry Connolly.
Okay, I don't see you anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, I, Larry Conley,
I, Larry Conley.
do,
Conley,
you can say affirm or swear
Swear.
swear
that the testimony I'm about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
testimony I'm about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, does it make a difference? Madam Alderwoman, who goes first?
No, I'll leave that to your discretion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, well, Mr. Conley, I can see you, so if you want to go ahead and testify, I'd appreciate it, because we lost the other person again.
I believe I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you see me?
And now I see you, but I need for Mr. Conley, you had fallen off for a minute, Mr. Saunders, so we're going to let Mr. Conley testify first, okay? Hello?
Okay, yeah. Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me? Okay. I just wanted to say a few words. Ben Polson was number one, a dear member of the St. Louis Fire Department. His dad was a retired fire captain, and so he's been family for the St. Louis Fire Department for a long time. Ben was smart enough to be an attorney, passed law school and everything, and chose to be a firefighter. Not like the rest of us who just graduated from high school and it was one of the good choices. But Ben could have been anything, and chose to be a firefighter. Came in that day expecting to go home like anyone else. And I was proud to be his captain at the time, and went in to make the search for possible homeless people like we do in these buildings. All the buildings are not vacant until we say it's vacant as firefighters, and went in to make the push only to meet his demise and not make it home that evening. So within the case, we never want to forget his selfless act of trying to save life and property. And I was proud to be his supervisor. Unfortunately, I was out of town at the conference when it happened, and I left the conference early to get back because I just couldn't get back to St. Louis fast enough. It's still something that affects our crew, even though I'm retired, but something that still affects our crew because it leaves a hole in the St. Louis Fire Department, a hole in the Engine House 13. So we want to continue to honor him. We got a lot of different honorariums around the firehouse. And I think the icing on the cake would be to take the 1400 block of Shawmut and make it Ben Polson Way, because he was very excited about being a member of the St. Louis Fire Department, and even better, a member of Truck 13C.
Thank you so much. Well said. Sometimes we forget about that the firefighters go out there and put their life on the risk, risk their life, and they actually run into danger, not away from it. So I'm very appreciative. Mr. Saunders, you're next.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Devontae Saunders. I work with Ben and got the pleasure of being his classmate going through the academy at the St. Louis Fire Department, and later served with him at Engine House 13. Just piggybacking off what my chief said, he was just an all-around good guy, very emphasis on caring, and just loved the community that he served in. He would go as far as picking up trash on the 1400 block of Shawmut, helping the kids with homework around the neighborhood. We were even outside playing basketball, playing football, playing catch. He just really cared about the community, and I just feel like this would be the best way to kind of honor him and the community to kind of honor him by renaming the street.
Okay, thank you very much. Very well said. Does anybody on the committee have questions of either of the two gentlemen? Anybody not on the committee have questions of, that's an alderperson, have questions of either of the two gentlemen?
I have a comment, not a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd just like to say thank you all for your service. I know that a lot of times we talk about public safety, and it's generally dealing with officers, and you all are very much appreciated for what it is that you do. The only people that run into burning buildings, aside from, once again, officers who are called and trying to save human life and property. We really appreciate it, and we're sorry that you had to lose not only a comrade, but I know you all are family. It was one of y'all members too. Unfortunately, problems that plague us pretty often with a whole lot of these burning buildings. So hopefully, as we continue to tear a lot of these buildings down and try to build the ones up that can be saved, this will be something that be minimalized in the very, very near future in terms of all the vacant buildings and the hazardous ones that we all are expecting you all to run into and try and, while we're trying to preserve them. So we really appreciate you all. We appreciate your courage. And, as you all continue to go out there and try to protect us, I will do the best that I can to always encourage us to pray for our city and pray for you all and look out for the firefighters as well as we try to look out for the rest of the city. But thank you all, and I'm sincerely sorry for our loss and your loss as well.
Thank you.
I agree. I agree. Thank you, Alderman Bosley. Anybody else have a comment? I would like to ask that my name also be included on the board bill.
Would you accept a motion to make this in bank out of committee?
Yes, I would. Is there any objections to all of the committee members having our names added to it? Okay, Madam Clerk, add all of the committee members' name. I see Alderman Stevens, his hands up. Yes, sir, Alderman.
Though I'm not a member of the committee, I would also like to be added in the.
That's not a problem. You still can.
Thank you.
Okay.
So noted.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Alderwoman Howard.
I would also like to be added to that. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
noted.
Okay. So did we get
Madam
it?
Chair,
Yes, Alderman Page.
please add me as well, even though I'm not a committee member.
All right, I sure will.
So
Thank you.
noted.
Okay, Alderwoman Middlebrook. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. I would like to also be added.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Noted.
And Alderwoman Evans must be away from her. Oh, I was gonna say, I know she wants her name added. Alderwoman
Yes, I
Evans.
was just getting ready to say, please add my name.
So
Right.
noted.
Okay. Is there anyone else we've missed? Alderman Todd? Would you like your name added? I don't mean to pressure people. You're muted.
Please add my name. Thank you for your patience, Madam Chair.
Thank
and-
you.
And committee people, sorry for the delay.
Okay, I think that's everyone that's here. Except for the secretaries, and they can't add their names. Okay, Alderwoman from the 6th, you are recognized to close on Board Bill 60.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Thank you to my colleagues who have added themselves as co-sponsors on this board bill, and to firefighter Polson's colleagues who spent time with us today testifying on his behalf. I hope in some small way this permanent honorary street designation will ensure that you understand that the City of St. Louis, the Board of Aldermen, understands the importance of the life and work of your fallen colleague, and that it will be hopefully up for a very long time. So as people come and go, his story will always be there to be told by the new firefighters who enter into Engine House 13. And I look forward to the celebration when we put the street sign up with all of you. And I would ask for the committee's favorable consideration of Board Bill 60 at this time.
Thank you. Very well said. I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill number 60 be passed out with a do pass recommendation.
I move that we pass Board Bill 60 out with a do pass recommendation.
I'll second that in previous role.
We have a motion, a second, a call for previous roll. Is there any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 60 is passed out with a do pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderwoman Ingracia, because
Thank
it is a sad, sad time when we lose firefighters. And this one really hit me in the gut because that building had been vacant for so long. And I'm hoping with some of this ARPA money that we get some of these buildings down. I actually turned in a big list of LRA properties that they cannot do anything with, that they need to be torn down. It is not fair for firefighters to have to go into a building that's been vacant for years and years and years, and a young man loses his precious life, or a young woman. So I appreciate this. Okay. You don't have anything else, do you, Alderwoman? No, you do not. Okay. The next person we're going to be hearing is Alderman Todd, Board Bill 81.
Board Bill number 81, introduced by Alderman Jesse Todd, pursuant to ordinance number 70333, as amended by ordinance number 71394. An ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the 4250 block of Enright Avenue, 4100 block of McPherson Avenue, 1800 block of Prairie Avenue in front of 1819 Prairie Avenue, and 3900 and 4000 blocks of Westminster.
Thank you. And I believe there's also amendment to Board Bill 81. Okay. But first, Alderman Todd, you are recognized to present Board Bill 82 before the committee.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Street and Traffic Committee. Board Bill 81 is straightforward.
I'm sorry, 81, not 82.
Board Bill 81 is a straightforward bill. I've had, from all these streets, I've had several residents to talk with them, got their approval, and they've complained about people excessive speeding and also hidden cars, and they're afraid that they're going to start hitting people if we don't get calm the traffic down. So basically, that's those are the bills. Those are the streets. I think I have 4, and I'm asking for your favorable consideration to pass Board Bill 81 out to the full board.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm gonna entertain a motion that we put Board Bill 81 before the committee so that we can then amend it.
So move that we put Board Bill 81 in front of us, in front of the committee.
I'll second that. And I go
Previous
for
roll.
previous roll, yeah.
We have a motion, second, and call for previous roll. Any objections for previous roll? Hearing none. Okay, Alderman, Board Bill 81 is before us. And now you have amendment to Board Bill 81, is that correct?
Yes.
Will you tell us about that, please?
Actually, the amendment only, it just makes corrections. Does the secretary have the corrections? Some minor corrections have to be made on it. I can quickly reduce my screen and then go get it because I had it.
Go ahead and do that, please.
Okay.
We'll wait. Because I need to print that out anyway, because I told you I had some problems this morning.
Okay. The proposed bill directs the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic in 4200 block of Enright Avenue, 4100 block of McPherson Avenue, 1800 block of Prairie Avenue in front of the address, and the 3900 on Westminster Place. This wasn't the correction. Let me.
I didn't understand that.
Okay.
Just a minute. I'm still looking for the Board Bill. I brought it up and had it on my screen. Wait.
Okay, go ahead. Take your time and pull it up.
Okay, I'm bringing it up now. Okay, the amendment number 1 to Board Bill 81 is to amend Board Bill page 1, line 8 to page 1, line 8 as follows. Beginning on page 1, line 8, strike out the word and insert in lieu of thereof to read the words and figures as follows. Prairie Avenue in front of 1819 Prairie Avenue and 39 4,000 block of Westminster Place. Amendment number 2 to Board Bill number 81 to amend said Board Bill page 1, line 14 to page 1, line 14 as follows. Beginning on page 1, line 14, the following words and figures on the 3,900. Insert the following words and figures to be and read as follows. 4,000. Amend number 3 to the Board Bill number 81 to amend said Board Bill page 1, line 15 to page 1, line 15 as follows. Beginning on page 1, line 15, strike out the words 5 inches, 1 speed hump shall be installed in the 4,000 block of Westminster Place. So it just says strike out the number 5, it's 5 inches. 1 speed hump shall be installed on the 4,000 block of Westminster Place. So there will be no speed humps in the 3,900, just be installed in the 4,000. Okay, so that's the amendment. I can go back and okay, it's a marked copy. Do you want me, is it pursuant to audience number 70,333 as amended by audience number 71,394, an audience directing this director of streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the 4250 block of Enright, 4100 block of McPherson, 1800 block of Prairie Avenue in front of 1819 Prairie Avenue, and 39 4000 block of Westminster. Section 1, pursuant to audience number 70,333, as amended by audience number 71,394. The director of streets is hereby directed to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the 4250 Enright, 4250 block of Enright, 4100 block of McPherson, 1800 block of Prairie Avenue in front of 1819 Prairie Avenue, and 3900 block of Westminster Place as follows. Number 1, 1 speed hump shall be installed on the 4200 block of Enright Avenue. Number 2, 1 speed hump shall be installed on the 4100 block of McPherson Avenue. Number 3, 1 speed hump shall be installed on the 1800 block of Prairie Avenue in front of the church located at 1819 Prairie Avenue. Number 4, 1 speed hump shall be installed on the 4000 block of Westminster Place. And I take out number 5, which is 1 speed hump shall be installed on the 4000 block of Westminster. Section 2, emergency clause. This has been an audience for the preservation of public health, public peace, health, and safety. It is hereby declared to be an emergency measure within the the Board Bill, within the public peace, health, and safety. It is hereby declared to be an emergency measure within the meaning of section 19 and 20 of Article 4 of the Charter of the City of St. Louis, and therefore shall become effective immediately upon its passage and approval by the mayor. There's another section I had to go back, and this is the last one. Clean copy. Board Bill number 81 has been amended, introduced by Alderman Jesse Todd, pursuant to audience number 70,333 as amended by audience number 71,394. an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the following streets: 4250 block of Enright, 4100 block of McPherson Avenue, 1800 block of Prairie Avenue, in front of 1819 Prairie Avenue, and 3940 block of Westminster Place. Section 1, pursuant to ordinance number 70,333, as amended by ordinance number 71,394. The Director of Streets is hereby directed to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the 4250 block of Enright Avenue, 4100 block of McPherson Avenue, 1800 block of Prairie Avenue in front of 1819 Prairie Avenue, and 3940 block of Westminster Place, as follows. One speed hump shall be installed on the 4200 block of Enright Avenue. One speed hump shall be installed on the 4100 block of McPherson Avenue. One speed hump shall be installed on the 1800 block of Prairie Avenue in front of the church located at 1819 Prairie Avenue. Number 4, one speed hump shall be installed on the 3940 block of Westminster. Section 2, emergency clause. This being an emergency clause ordinance for the preservation of public safety, peace, health, and safety, it is hereby declared to be an emergency measure within the meaning of section 19 and 20 of Article 4 of the Charter of the City of St. Louis, and therefore shall become effective immediately upon its passage and approved by the mayor. Those are the amendments. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? I'll turn it back over to the chair to give me guidance on what you would like for me to do next, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you for reading the amendments. So yeah, the clean copy now is before us. Wait a minute, let's see. The amendments, I think we need to do I'd entertain a motion that we amend Board Bill 75 to include the amendments as presented.
I recommend, so is it Board Bill?
It's Board Bill
81?
81, not 75. I'm sorry, I'm on to another one. Okay, 81.
I move that we amend Board Bill 85.
81.
I mean 81, I'm sorry. I move that we amend Board Bill 81.
I'll second that, and I'll ask for previous roll.
Okay, it's been a motion that we amend Board Bill 81 as per the amendments that were presented. There's been a second, a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 81 is amended. Okay, now I would entertain a motion that we pass out Board Bill 81 as amended with the due pass recommendation.
I move we pass Board Bill 81 out as amended with the due pass recommendation.
Second, previous roll.
Very good.
We have a motion, a second. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 81 is passed out with the due pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderman.
And thank you very much, Madam Chair. And thank you, Streets and Traffic Committee.
Okay, Alderwoman from the 17th, how are your amendments going?
The amendment is in the drive, and so I'm ready to present the board bill.
Okay, let me get them together because you're next.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now, are there a new, Alderwoman from the 17th, are there new changes? Because I have your original board bill, then I have your amendment.
Okay.
And then I have a marked copy. Is there something else that got changed? On your amendment, I have to amend page 2, line 19, any vehicle in the district. Are there other things that I'm missing? Because you said he was making changes.
That was the amendment. The time was not in the original board bill in terms of when the parking district would be in effect. So you have all the information there.
Did you say there was supposed to be something in here that says when the district is supposed to go into effect?
Right, so section 4 of this board bill, what was did in line 19, what was added was the time frame for the parking district from Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 and 4 p.m.
Okay, but I don't see that. Then I'm missing that amendment. So all I have is amendment 1. And so you actually have an amendment 2 also? So what you're saying?
No, that's just there's only one amendment.
So the one I see says, oh, Monday through Friday. Okay, I thought, okay, that's it. All right. Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk, Alderwoman Pill is next, and she is Board Bill number 75. And could you please read the introduction?
Board Bill number 75, introduced by Alderwoman Tina Peel. An ordinance repealing ordinance establishing the 4400 block of Gibson Residential Parking District. The ordinance number 69745, establishing the 1100 block of Taylor Avenue Residential Parking District. And establishing a new district, the Gibson and South Taylor Avenues Residential Parking District. And providing locations and restrictions for curb parking within the Gibson and South Taylor Avenues Residential Parking District. And authorizing the placement of a, and authorizing the placement of parking by permit only signs and prohibiting the parking of any vehicle in the district that does not display the required permit, providing a penalty for violations and containing an emergency clause.
Okay, Alderwoman from the 17th, you're recognized to present your original board bill, 75. And I just have a question before you do. This was what we had last term, that's correct?
Correct.
And so now we're cleaning that up so we don't have one side of the street in one parking district and the other side in the second parking district, right?
Correct.
Okay, and do you have, is Ms. Birkenmeyer, is she here to testify? Because I don't have the speakers list in front of me.
She is.
And is there anyone else besides her?
No, just Ms. Birkenmeyer.
Okay, you are recognized to present Board Bill 75 before the committee.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. This Board Bill 75 was presented a few months ago in the last term, and we have revised it and updated it, cleaned it up so that we're going to be creating one parking district instead of multiple parking districts, and the parking districts will be on both sides of the street and not just one, and the times will be the same. And we're not going to have different times on one side of the street and the other side of the street. The reason why this area is looking for a parking district is that the employees from BJC and WashU do not want to be paying for parking in their parking lot. So they come into the neighborhood in Forest Park Southeast, and they park in front of the neighbors' homes for 8 hours or more a day. And the neighbors are not able to use their street to park their cars. And one of the things, especially in this area, is that there are a lot of elderly people who are not able to park in front of their homes. And they don't have, handicap signs, etc. And so I am so supportive of this board bill to help mitigate the parking problems that are caused by employees wanting free parking through the neighborhood and parking on residential streets. The parking would be restricted from Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the details of that, where the parking district is, were read by the assistant clerk.
Okay.
I'm available for questions.
Okay, before we do that, since you have this amendment, I'm
Okay.
gonna go ahead and if none of the members of the committee have any questions, I'm gonna entertain a motion to put Board Bill 75 before us so that we may amend it. We still have enough.
I move that we put Board Bill 75 in front of the committee.
Second.
Previous row.
Have a motion, a second, a call for previous roll. Any objections for previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 75 is before the committee. And now she's already described what the amendment is. So I'd like to, I'd entertain a motion to amend Board Bill 75 to include amendment number 1.
I move that we amend Board Bill 75 to include amendment number 1.
Second. Previous one.
In it, we have a motion, a second, a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 75 is now amended to include the amendment. And it is Board Bill 75 as amended is the bill that is before us now. And if there are any questions of the sponsor, anybody on the committee have a question of the sponsor? Hearing none, I'm going to swear in her. My goodness, my phone is ringing off the hook. I'm going to swear in her person that's come to testify. Mrs. Birkenmeyer, am I saying that right, Ms.? Okay, all right. Do you affirm or swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Do you mind, Alderman from the 17th, if I have her speak now?
That would be great. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you so much for a few minutes. I just wanted to say I testified at the earlier hearing on the previous bill, and I have many of the same things to say. I will say just that the bill has great support among the residents in the affected area, as our ward, as you probably know, is just expanding exponentially with growth, including more density. And so with the prospect of new apartment buildings, et cetera, we feel like this problem is just going to get worse. So we are asking for this restricted parking. It is, we love WashU as a neighbor. And it is really very difficult, I think, for some of their employees to afford the parking, which is very expensive. And so they do what I would do, which is park for free and walk. And what that means is if I leave my house after 7 a.m. to come back even 15 minutes later, I have nowhere to park within blocks because they're either all taken or they're restricted parking. I don't have a permit. So it's really difficult to go in and out during the day. Delivery people just block the street, frankly. To drop things off. So it really is quite a problem, and it's just getting worse. So I really I'm very thankful to Alderman Peel for bringing this to you. And just to let you know that the residents in the affected area are very strongly supportive of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. I know they are. And I don't live near a hospital, but I used to live near 3 or 4 churches that were all convergent. So on Sundays, if you ever dared to leave your house, you couldn't come back. And in fact, to this day, I park in my garage. We made sure our garage was fixed. That was one of the reasons, because we could never, ever do it. And a lot of the people, unfortunately, live someplace else. And in North St. Louis, we have this problem all over because we have a lot of churches, and the people live in the county, and then they come in on neighborhood on Sundays or on other days, and they park in front of your house. And then they are surprised that people kind of upset about that. We in the city like to park in front of our own houses too. That's one of the benefits of owning a house or even being in an apartment, is that we want all the little pleasures that you want out in the county. And it's not that we don't like you. We just want to come home and park in front of our own houses, or as near as we can to that. So I do get that. And I know it must be extremely hard with as many people as the hospital has, and ever expanding. So I appreciate that, and I am a supporter. And I think that she's made this bill much better by making it so that you have the same parking district on both sides of the street. That would have been confusing, okay? So I think she's cleaned it up, and I appreciate that. Is there anyone that has any question of the sponsor or the person who just testified? Anybody on the committee has any questions? Anybody not on the committee have any questions? Hear none. Alderwoman from the 17th, you are recognized to close.
Thank you. Madam Chair and members of the committee, I ask for your favorable consideration to pass this board bill with a due pass recommendation.
75 as amended.
Oh, 75 as amended.
Okay. I entertain a motion that we pass out Board Bill 75 as amended, and thank the Alderwoman from the 17th for making the corrections. And we pass it out with a due pass recommendation.
I move that we pass Board Bill 75 as amended with a due pass recommendation.
Second, previous roll.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none. Thank you, Alderwoman. You did really well. Didn't get mad because it needed to be cleaned up. That's how you do it. Grown-up legislation, okay? Because sometimes your stuff is not quite the way you need it. And then you find out when it goes to go into effect that it's a problem. So it's always better to resolve the problem, because if I lived on that street, I would have been mad if you told me, well, this side of the street has and I know where it is. Oh, we got this parking permit over here and this parking permit over there. So I think you made it much better. I appreciate you. Thank you. And thank you for coming back again to testify, Ms. Birkmeyer. Okay. All right, that is we got one more bill before us. Let's see here. Let me mark this here.
Board Bill number 62.
Hold on just a minute. Hold on. All right, I'm marking my agenda, so I'll make sure I know what I'm doing, okay? I'm trying to be a big girl like you, Madam Clerk. All right, you could go on to the last one that we're gonna hear today.
Okay, Board Bill number 62, introduced by Alderman Bill Stevens, pursuant to ordinance number 7033, as amended by ordinance number 71394. An ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the 5700 block of Mylands Avenue between the intersections of Mylands and Hampton Avenue and Mylands Avenue and Macklin Avenue. 3800 and 3900 blocks of Lewis Avenue between the intersections of Lewis Avenue and Sharp Avenue and Lewis Avenue and Upton Street. And the 7300 block of Field Avenue between the intersections of Field Avenue and Germania and Field Avenue and Loughborough Avenue.
Thank you. Alderman from the 12th? 12th or 13th? 12th?
12.
Okay, Alderman from the 12th, you're recognized to present Board Bill 62 before the committee. And first of all, I gotta ask you, because I don't have it, do you have any speakers?
No, ma'am.
And any amendments?
No, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairwoman, for allowing me to present this bill today, and also for not calling me out for frantically running.
You have not got to the end of it. Let me just tell you, you will find out what you have done, but I will give you a chance to present it, okay?
So Alderwoman Tyus, I actually meant my running back from the kitchen because I was making 2 eggs, which I've got off to the side here. And thank you for not calling me out on that. I will take an opportunity once again to apologize to the chairwoman, to Alderwoman Tyus, for a small procedural error that I made in bad judgment in our last meeting of the session. I did not mean to offend, and I appreciate you allowing me to present today. But Board Bill 62, simply put, is just speed humps. Of course, for our residents, it's never just speed humps. down here in 12, I employ what I consider a fair practice, which is a petition process that has to be taken on by the requester. It has to be for the affected block, 50% plus one. Simple majority rather. There's flexibility with that given other criteria that I take into consideration, but ultimately this is the culmination of several petitions as outlined in the several blocks that did not all occur at once, but I asked everyone to hold off until we had several to do all at once in the hopes of streamlining the legislative process and in the hopes of keeping it fair and equitable, not only for the 12th ward, my residents, but for the city of St. Louis. So with that, I excuse me, myself and the frog in my throat are happy to take any questions from the committee. If there are any questions about the process, the reasoning, or elsewise.
Okay, does anyone on the committee have any questions of the Alderman from the 12th? Okay, Alderman, first of all, I want to tell you something. What you did is not a small procedural error. It's a major faux pas, okay? That you characterize it as that makes me understand that you don't understand the gravity of what you did, okay? First of all, minus the fact that I was in the hospital gravely ill, and some of these people saw me, the alderman from the 3rd actually had to have firemen come to my house because I fainted about this illness on Zoom call. So there was nothing where I was just laying up on vacation someplace. I was ill. And I don't miss, everybody knows that I don't miss Board of Alderman meetings in these 31 years since I first got elected. I don't miss for no reason at all. I help people, I try to work with them. That you felt that you needed to do this tells me you don't understand the rules of the board. And I don't know who told you to do that, but when you introduce your board bills less than 30 days before we're gonna go down, I have every right as the chair not to hear it. I was trying to hear it anyway. I just went into the hospital. That you were so focused on you and what you wanted. And I would be saying this for any of the members at the Board of Aldermen, that you were so callously disregarding that I was ill and in the hospital. And now that you even characterize it as a small procedural error, it is not. You don't know the rules. You didn't introduce it on time. You didn't handle your bills. But I don't have to have these hearings every week. I don't have to let people speak. I'm really the alder person that tries to teach people about the rules. Alderwoman Evans can tell you when we were on rules together, that's my thing, trying to make sure people understand them and that people get a fair hearing. That's what I do. I don't like it that people don't get a fair hearing. So, but when something is unavoidable, which it was, and then you are just like, I'm so focused on what I want that I don't even understand anything else that happened. That's not a small procedural error. That is a callous disregard of one of your colleagues, this time it being the chair of streets. And that is a major mistake. I want you to know, and the clerk, I wish he was here because he is here, I'll at least see him. He could tell you this. If you had done this when I first got started, you wouldn't hear any of your board bills would get heard anywhere because all the senior aldermen would not hear your bills. You would have got a whooping out of this world. You wouldn't have been afraid to come here and talk about it being a small procedure error. I got all your emails. I forgive you. I just don't like what you did. I don't like it because I was very sick. And I don't like it not just because it's me, that I always thought of you as being kind of a kind person. And so now I have a really different idea of who you are now, that you would be so you would disrespect me so as though I did something to you. You had a funeral, but I was in the hospital. I could not be in the hospital. You could not have been at the funeral, but you did. But I still, if you had just said, can you find a way to work it in to help me? That's called picking up the phone and us trying to work it out. But to just say, oh, I'm just gonna, both of us had problems and I'm just gonna pull it out of my committee. Pulling a bill out of a chairman's committee is an act of war. I want you to understand that, okay? And I've done it before because that chair did an act of war against me and I was able to do it. But I didn't do it because I didn't wait my turn. I didn't accept that I didn't get my hearing the first week or the third week. I actually waited and waited and waited. It's not because I didn't manage my bill. I got it in on time, all of those things. But you didn't do any of those things. And then you tried to act like that it was something I had done to you. And it's nothing I did to you. And I don't get sick to offend you or the people that you represent. And so I am very, I'm going to forgive you, but what I am not going to do is support your board bill. And this is a lesson that you need to learn about how your politics should be operated, okay? They should not be operated like this. You should not treat anybody like this. And if you think you're that important that you can do something like that, I guess I'm glad that we're going to 14 because probably you won't be here. And you didn't. I thought it was like a political stunt that you did because you was trying to show people that you were running for office. And I just don't understand it. You can't find anybody here who said I've been unkind to them about something like that. Alderwoman Peel had her problems with her bill. She didn't get mad. She went and cleaned it up and did it. She didn't try to blame anybody else. She took that. You're a brand new alderperson. If you come up against the most senior alderperson, you get what you get, okay? At several times I've tried to talk to you about things and you don't hear them. You don't hear them. I'm back here now, circles under my eyes, because I've been sick, okay? And so to hear you come back and say small procedural error is an incorrect statement and further aggravates me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to entertain a motion that Board Bill 62 be passed out of committee with a do not pass recommendation. That's what we do when people don't understand what they're doing.
I'll second that motion.
Well, I need somebody to
So
make it.
moved.
I'm so moved.
And I'll second it.
Okay.
I thought you actually made the motion. I apologize.
No, and so Alderman Bosley has made the motion. We have a second. We have a call for roll call. I mean, for previous roll. If not, we'll do roll call.
I'll do previous roll.
Madam Chair, am I not entitled?
You
to
are not
respond?
recognized to speak anymore. No. See,
Okay.
no, you are not recognized to speak. I want you to get
apologize.
this. I'm recognized to speak. I want you to understand. I know you're sorry and I accept your apology, but I also want you to understand everything doesn't go your way. Okay, and you cannot, if you had done this to any member of my committee, I wouldn't even have heard the bill. It would have been out in La La Land someplace. But since you wanted your bill heard so much and you do not understand what you've done, and you come here and say small procedural error, then this is, I'm going to show you what procedure looks like, okay? That's not me, but you cannot treat people like that. No matter how we fight down here, we try to be a family, and you never know when you need that 15th vote. And I don't try to insult chairs of committee unless I'm willing not to have any of my bills heard there. I brought yours. You want to have it? You want to rush it? You don't take your responsibility? You cannot speak because we already have a motion on the floor and we have a second. And so that's what it is. That's how we're going to act until you understand that you are a new alderperson and that you need to seek guidance, not shoot bullets at people. And so for you to come back here and still talk about a small procedural error is incorrect. So we have a motion. We have a motion and we have a second. We don't have a call for previous roll. So we can do
Previous roll.
Previous roll.
Is there objections to previous roll?
Objection.
Okay, then we'll do a roll call. Madam Clerk?
Alderman Vaquero,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
No.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderwoman Peel,
No.
Chairwoman Tyus.
Aye.
I got 3 aye votes, 2 no.
By your vote, you sustain the motion, and this board bill is passed out with a do not pass recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you for the time, Madam Chairwoman and Streets Committee. I once again apologize, but recognize that I
Again, you are not recognized, and
I know.
so please turn off
I
his mic.
apologize.
He is not recognized. Please turn off his mic. I've heard all his sorries. It is always about him. When you say it's not recognized, you're not recognized. You're not taking over my committee. Thank you very much. I still waited for you to show some kind of understanding, but what you said is a small procedural error. It's not. So you got your vote. This is what happens when you do that. So there's your vote right there. Now you go about your business. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that needs to come before this committee?
Madam Chair, just a quick question, procedural question.
Sure.
So we did pass that out to the full board, but
But do not.
we're just recommending they do not pass it. So
That
we
is
can all
correct.
put that there. That's what I thought. You did have the opportunity to be mean and kill it, and you did not. You could have killed it by saying simply table it.
I know.
But you didn't. So he needs to understand, even though you had the opportunity to not pass it out. And for the ones that think we're being mean, I just want to explain. No, you had the opportunity to kill it. You did not. You made a motion. The motion was made that it gets passed out with a do not pass. That doesn't mean it won't pass on the floor. So I just want him to understand you did him a favor because you could have certainly killed.
He doesn't, because he calls it a small procedure error, not a selfish, self-centered error. And it wasn't even an error. It was planned and plotted. And so he doesn't understand it. Okay. He keeps saying he's sorry. He lets his lips move, but his whole action is disregarding. Okay. When we talked about the same thing about when we tried to talk to them about not keeping people from voting on the Zoom, total disregard. I've listened to him. Now I took up for him, but now I'm just done with it, because when he comes in here and says a small procedure error, I've never done my worst enemy at the board like that. And I would not do it. If you're in the hospital, I don't think that that's okay. And I don't think that, and then that's dismissive. I knew what I could have done. I did it just the way I wanted to. He wants a fast hearing, he got one.
Right. No, I understand. I just wanted him to understand that you had the opportunity to kill it. And I would have supported that. Because
No, I know
I saw you at the meeting when you passed out, and so did everyone else. So, you had the opportunity to kill it, you did not. And so I was just, anyway. No, I won't go on about it, but I'm just saying, I would have sided with you had you would have decided to kill it.
No, that was good enough. He got what he wanted. And I don't want to really talk about that anymore. I want to know if anybody has anything else that's before the committee. Okay. I move that we adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, this committee is adjourned. Thank you.
Where do I get out?